Fair use, Ringo TV reaction. Let's go.
Trust in divine separation. When we are in relationships, situationships, any scenario that we know we are not supposed to be in, it's going to cost you something. Well, everything in life is going to cost you something. Would you like it to cost your peace? Would you like it to cost you your sanity, your soul? These are things that need to be considered when you think that sticking around entertaining certain things, that the ends justify the means. That is not always the case. And who wants to wait for an outcome on a wish and a hope that things are going to turn out exactly the way that you want it to, when you have to pull strings and manipulate the entire situation the entire time? If it doesn't flow, let it go. You need to trust in the divine separation of that and of things. And that's why we find ourselves so often caught up in situations that we see little things here or there. We think that they're little things, they're not really going to matter. And then those things turn into very big things. And then we try and hold on to what was, because the current present reality is so incongruous to what the beginning was. And we chase, and we never end up getting that feeling back, whatever it was. So this is a message for you guys to trust in the divine separation of your life. If you know that certain things you're not supposed to be a part of, then just end it, because the ends do not always justify the means, and everything is going to cost you something. So do not let it cost you your peace, your sanity, your soul, because that's what's important after all.
You see, the truth of the matter is, a lot of times in relationships, women don't really understand the magnitude of the problem. Let's examine this video. Ringo TV reactions. Let's go.
Trust in divine separation.
She's telling you to trust in divine separation. But they didn't trust in the fact that the person they got with was no good. You see, a lot of times women get involved in relationships. They already know the guy ain't no good, but they don't care. They figure, I'm going to get with Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm going to settle down. I'm going to have a good time. And they know this guy is not a good guy, but they just kind of get with him because he got a nice car. And then later on down the road, after they done been intimate, all of a sudden now they're trying to make this guy settle down with them, to be only with them, not realizing that this guy was never that kind of guy to begin with. And now she find herself struggling, mad at the world because the dude ain't trying to settle down. Well, that was your fault. It's nobody else's fault but yours. Let's go.
When we are in relationships, situationships.
Notice relationships, situationships. I don't hear no talks about marriages. I don't hear that,
Any scenario that we know we are not supposed to be in.
Notice, any scenario that we know we're not supposed to be in. So you're not supposed to be with that guy. You see that? You're not supposed to be with that guy, but you still with him. Why? Because you're trying to make something work that ain't going to work in the first place. Right? But you're trying to trust divine separation. Ain't no such thing as divine separation. There is no such thing as divine separation. This is a concept that they just made up out of their mind, because they constantly keep going through failure after failure after failure, relationship after relationship, and never basically getting down to the bottom line, which is becoming a wife. And it's not because the guy is a problem, it's because the woman is the problem. But she's going to blame it on the guy.
It's going to cost you something.
It's going to cost you a lot if you don't make the right decision from the beginning. See, a lot of women, they don't want to make the right decision. They want to wait a couple of years. They want to wait till after they done had babies by Pookie and Ray Ray. And then they want a good man. Then they want to separate. And they think that after they separate with the kids, that the market value is high enough to find another guy. And it's not going to be that way. You're going to end up struggling with these children.
Well, everything in life is going to cost you something.
It's going to always cost you something. So as a mom that have children, you must understand it's going to cost you something if you expect to find another man. It's going to cost you a lot. Because if you have kids from another guy and you're trying to get with a new guy, understand that your kids is going to be in the way of the new guy taking you serious. That's just the way life works. You can't get around the facts. You have to understand that you're not a single lady no more. You got kids. So attracting another man that's going to take you under his wing and be serious is going to require you understanding what exactly you bring to the table that can benefit this man, that can be useful to this man. Because again, ladies, if all you got is your body and that's all you think you got because you cute, you better think again. Because whatever relationship you get into is not going to last anyway. I'm just letting you know straight up. So all this divine separation stuff is nonsense. Because in the beginning of that relationship, you should have already known what you were getting into and made the right decision to jump from Jump Street.
Would you like it to cost your peace?
Well, if you choose the wrong person, it's going to cost you your peace. See, the problem is women like her, they dealt with so many different guys, relationship after relationship, broken heart after broken heart. And now they're trying to come up with these new ideals of, divine separation, that you got to listen to divine separation. But why you ain't listen to your heart from the beginning when your heart told you that man is not the right man for you? You ain't care about that. And normally women that have this kind of mindset, it sets in after multiple failures, multiple times of failing with different men. They got to now justify it by saying you got to listen to divine separation, which make no sense. Because if the divine brought you together with somebody, why would they cause you to separate from them? So obviously that divine ain't coming from the Most High. That divine that you're talking about is coming from the devil. But let's get back to the video.
Would you like it to cost you your sanity?
Your sanity. How many women at the sound of my voice is going through all sorts of hell and hot waters with different dudes that they deal with? You're going through the ringer. You're going through all sorts of heartache and pain, struggling. He ain't calling you. He ain't texting you. You mad at the world. Baby daddy is giving you problems. He ain't buying nothing for the kids. So you stressed out and you mad. Why? You're going out of your mind now. It's messing with your insanity. It's like your sanity is just all over the place. And it's all because of the type of guy that you choose to get with. See, it's 2023. We ain't sugarcoating nothing. We ain't playing games. We're getting right down to the point, right down to business. Let's go.
Your soul. These are things that need to be considered when you think that sticking around, entertaining certain things.
Sticking around, entertaining certain things. See, a lot of you ladies, you stick around in relationships because you thinking that one of these days, somehow this guy is going to make you a wife. And it never happened. See what I mean? It never happened and it never will happen. Because you got with a guy that was no good to begin with. So you sticking around knowing that he's not the type of guy that want to marry you. He's not trying to settle down. You wasting your time. And it all goes back to the kind of guy you entertain. You chose to get with this man. So you can't look at it like, oh, I'm going to blame him for why things ain't moving forward. I'm just waiting around, waiting for my relationship to go to the next level. It's never going to go to the next level. You understand? It's never, because you chose the wrong man. You chose to have babies by the wrong man. You chose to sleep with the wrong man. This is what women do all the time. And then they get mad when they don't get the outcomes they're looking for. They're getting mad when they don't get the kind of love that they're expecting. Well, you got to look in that mirror and recognize who you are. You are what you eat. Let's go.
That the ends justify the means. That is not always the case. And who wants to wait for an outcome?
Notice, who wants to wait for an outcome? When you look at her facial expression, the outcome that most women are expecting is to be in this long-term, wonderful relationship. That's what they're expecting. They're waiting for that outcome. They're waiting for that guy that got the nice place, a nice car. Everything is good. This is what they're expecting, but it never comes to pass. Why? Because they keep choosing the wrong man. They don't want the right guy. They just want to play games all day. So they go through this roller coaster ride, back and forth, the same old. And they get frustrated with the man like it's the man's fault, not realizing it's their fault. They chose a guy that he didn't want a relationship. He didn't even want no kids. He just wanted to hit it and bounce. And in most cases, the woman wanted the same thing, but then she got attached to the guy, thought she can kind of keep him in to have that relationship, but dude ain't trying to stick around. So she get in her fee-fees about it and start to complain like he's the bad guy.
On a wish and a hope that—
Notice, a wish and a hope. In other words, wishing that one of these days that you're going to settle down and become a wife from a guy that clearly don't even want you.
things are going to turn out exactly the way that you want it to.
You wanted that man to make you a wife. You thought that you're going to have that white picket fence. You thought that you're going to have this wonderful world, but it didn't turn out that way.
When you have to pull strings and manipulate the entire—
Anytime you got to pull string, ladies, and try to manipulate a relationship to go your direction or to go in a way that you want it to be in, you're in the wrong relationship. Shouldn't even have to do any of that. See, women like her have been in so many bad relationships that it's discouraging to them. And a lot of times, a lot of these women that be in these dead-end relationships be fairly attractive. At the same time, just because you're attractive doesn't mean you're going to attract the right kind of guy. You know, because again, it's all about how you feel. And in most cases, women just continually choose the wrong guy. I keep telling y'all, man, women choose the worst possible men all the time. And the only time they want a good quality man is normally when they're 35 to about 45. And that is when they want to get into church. They want to get saved, put on a daishiki, and praise the Lord. Talking about, Lord, send me a godly man, or send me a guy that is rich, a guy that got money, and all this other stuff. Why? Why would he do that? Why would he send you such a man so you could destroy him? Why would he do that so you can cause him to have a lot of stress? It doesn't make any sense. You know, you got to consider your own issues, your own problems. Recognize where you are as a woman.
Situation the entire time. If it doesn't flow—
Notice, if it doesn't flow, what flow? The relationship. She wants the relationship to flow in a certain direction, but it's not going that direction.
let it go.
Let it go. So now she's trying to tell the women, hey, we've been making all these mistakes all these years with these guys. Let's just let the relationship go. Let the relationship go if it's not flowing in the way we want it to go. And we all know that the way they want it to go is in the way of them becoming a wife. But it never happens that way because of the kind of men they choose.
You need to trust in the divine separation of that.
No, there's no such thing as divine separation. So telling women they need to trust in the divine separation. Notice, you're not even telling these women to trust in the Most High. You're telling them to trust in something else that doesn't even make any sense. Divine separation? What are you talking about? How can you have some divine separation, but you don't have a connection to the divinely heavenly Father? It doesn't even make any sense. None of this make any sense. You understand? Let's go.
And of things. And that's why we find ourselves so often caught up in situations.
Caught up in situationships. Caught up in dead-end relationships. You understand? That's exactly where most women get caught up in. This is why they can't find a good man. I talk about these things all the time and women don't want to listen. You know? Because they want to be a boss. They want to rule over a man. They want to control a man. And, you know, it just causes a problematic situation for them. It's just sad.
That we see little things here or there. We think
little things here and there.
that they're little things. They're not really going to matter. And then those things turn into very big things.
Notice they keep looking at the guy, looking at the little things, waiting for them to turn into big things just so they could talk about you, argue with you, fuss and fight. And they just never have a happy home. This is just their outcomes.
And then we try and hold on
to a man that you know is not even good. You try to hold on to a man that treats you like trash. You try to hold on to a man that may be abusive. And you do so because you figure, hey, at least I got a place to stay. At least I got somebody that put food on the table, but at the expense of you being abused or neglected. You know, it's not even worth it when you really think about it. But this is where the majority of women are. This is what they're doing right now. Most women that are actually viewing in the clouds is right now with a guy that's no good. And she know he's no good, but she's still with him by choice.
To what was, because the current present reality is so incongruous to what the beginning was, and we chase, and we never end up.
In other words, in the beginning of the relationship, it seemed like something was happening. It seemed like y'all were going somewhere. And at this point in the relationship, it's like, listen, why am I still chasing after this thing? It's not going nowhere. I'm wasting my time. See, in the beginning, the dude looked like the type of dude that had the potential to be that husband. But then over time, you learn that he wasn't really about that life. He just wanted to chill, get it in, and then go his way, which is typical of a modern man who is a whoremonger male. Just being honest with you.
Getting that feeling back.
What feeling back? You talking about the feeling when you first got with the guy? That feeling of being in love? That feeling of finding somebody and you thought it was going to be some sort of great relationship? You thought it had the potential to go somewhere? And then what happened? It's not the same no more. Whatever it was. Why? Because you never knew what it was. Most women don't even understand love. They don't even understand what it's like to be loved. All they know how to do and what to do is argue, fuss, fight, complain, and waste a whole lot of time. A whole lot of time. Let's go.
So this is a message for you guys to trust in the divine separation of your life.
The divine separation of your life. It makes no sense. How do you trust in something that you can't see in terms of a divine separation? What understanding is this? Where does this come from? Trust in the divine separation. If this was really something to trust in, why did the divine give you a guy that is no good that you have to now separate from? Makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Well, let's go. Let's get back into this.
If you know that certain things you're not supposed to be a part of.
If you're not supposed to be a part of, why were you in it in the beginning? Why were you even in it? This is what I'm trying to say. Why were you in it in the beginning? Let's go. Let's get back into this.
Then just end it.
Just end it. See, this is what most women do. They get into relationships, and when things ain't going the way they want it to be, now they want to say, just end it. Well, you should have ended it before it began. As soon as you got in with the guy, you should have already know what you wanted, and you should have presented that at the forefront of the table. Just like with you brothers, I tell you all the time, when you get with a woman, you got to let her know exactly what it is, what you're looking for, what you want her for. You know what I mean? You got to let a sister understand, like, look, I'm not here to play any games. I'm not like these other guys. Like, you don't realize how serious this is, and you let her know your cards. You put the cards on the table. You explain to her, like, look, if you real, be real, because I'm not here to play. This is what I need you for. This is why I'm attracted to you. Fairly nice looking lady, blah, 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 blah. I need you on the team for this purpose. You got to let a woman know exactly what you want her for. You know what I mean? That way she know her position. She know how to play the role that she has to play. And she could recognize the value that she have. Most women, they don't understand this. They get into relationships. They trying to control this man and try to take up all his time and, drain the man of his energy. And it's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to get in where you fit in as a woman and recognize that this man is a working man. Don't try to take a man off his square. Don't try to make a man, miss his mark. Be there to be an assistant. Assist that man so that he could be the best version of himself. Let's go.
Because the ends do not always justify the means, and everything is going to cost you something. So do not let it cost you your peace, your sanity, your soul.
She's telling women, don't let it cost you your peace, your sanity, and your soul. But this is what women do every time they get into a relationship. They choose the worst possible man, typically always the Pookie and the Ray Ray type. A guy that don't want to work. He don't want to do nothing with his hands. He ain't trying to build nothing. He ain't fixing nothing. I mean, you got this guy living in your house. He ain't even doing nothing. He ain't doing no repairs. He ain't cutting no grass. I mean, what's the point of this guy being here? It's like you just taking care of a child at this point. Think about that. This man that you got, he ain't got no income coming in. He ain't working on nothing. He ain't building himself up. He ain't reading no tutorials. He ain't doing nothing to educate himself. But you paying for things. You basically being his mommy at this point. It's not cool. And it all goes back to your choice. You chose to have a man like that. So don't sit around talking about divine separation. There should have been a separation before you even got with that man. You knew he was no good from the beginning. Most of you ladies, you know your baby daddy ain't no good, but you still stick around thinking that somehow he gonna change and you're gonna be able to build some sort of relationship. That dude ain't never changing. Just like most of you never changing. You understand? So anyway, y'all, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna waste my time. It's 2023. We here to put out the content, give you the information, check in, check out. It's just that simple. You like what we do? Click the subscribe button. You want to contribute, sponsor the stream, hit the Cash App. That being said, I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth, 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.